so many people were trying to diminish Lamar's impact. And if you watch the game and if you've watched the Ravens the entire season, to me, and to Colin's points, the numbers don't always tell the story, Kevin.
No, they don't. And again, it went on a 5-minute heater. I know we're not going to play it, but pretty much, and Colin's been a guy who, wasn't sold on Lamar to start, but credit to him. He came out and pretty much apologized, said he was wrong, and went on a 5-minute heater yesterday. In the quote that I put out on Twitter was, MVP is not about stats singularly. I want you to remember the words impact and influence. Lamar Jackson is easily the most influential NFL player this season. And it's true because, look, you talk about the Ravens offense, you have to have context. Gus Edwards has, 11 touchdowns this year?
12, I believe.
12 whatever
11,
it is.
12.
It's over 10, I know that.
Yeah.
But if half of those go to Lamar, if the Ravens, they're a run team still. I know there was all this made about Todd Monken coming in, they're going to throw 50 times. They don't. They don't throw all that often, and that's why when I go through my stats, I don't use total yards. I use yards per attempt when it comes to football because if you throw the ball 300 times, you're going to have more passing yards than a team that throws the ball 100 times. It just is what it is. It's how efficient you are, and Lamar's metrics are really good this season. And plus, 2 straight games on primetime where you just watch the game, right? You just watch the game and you see him. Defenders can't bring him down. They don't know what he's going to do. And the quote that stood out to me actually was Nick Bosa talked after the game. And we've seen Lamar be really good about kind of floating in the pocket this year, waiting for receivers to get open and not really taking rushing lanes immediately if they're there. And the 49ers caught on to that. And Nick Bosa said, we were thrown off guard because he did the exact opposite. He adjusted and took the lanes, and we couldn't. That 31-yard run on, what was it, 3rd and 16 after the Ronnie Stanley face mask. I've never seen Fred Warner look so lost on a play.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, he's unbelievable. And I'm not trying to discredit what Brock has done or what Tua's done or Dak or Tyreek or Christian McCaffrey, all those guys. But you can't just look at purely stats and say this guy has more passing yards than this guy and he's the MVP. There is so much more that goes into it. And I think people are starting to see it, but I just don't know what else Lamar has to do here because to me, he's the front runner and it's not really close.
Yeah, I mean, your point about just juking out Fred Warner on that one play. Fred Warner, I personally believe Roquan Smith is number 1 for middle linebacker. If there's 1A, then Fred Warner's 1A. I mean, for him to, like you said, I've never seen a player like Fred Warner. Usually Fred Warner comes down, play is over. Like
he's like if Roquan got juked down. Like we'd all just be like, what just happened?
Like, whoa.
Right?
And so it really is one of those things, and I forget who said it on ESPN, but it made sense. When you watch the game, it's the eye test of, okay, statistically speaking, you can look at that and name who you think the MVP is. But when you watch the games, when Lamar steps on the field, there's no question of who the best player on the field is. A lot of players, even though they're, and once again, not taking away anything from Brock Purdy or guys on San Francisco, there are so many guys that are insane on San Francisco, the Trent Williams, Debo's, Ayuk, CMC, Purdy, Kittle. I mean, right there, I named 5 and forgot Kittle, their star tight end. It's hard to say at any given moment who the best player is on that field. And I think that does hurt guys like Purdy and like the MVP case because he does have so much talent around him. Whereas when Lamar plays, you watch it and you're like, this can't go without him.
And it's another thing as well, just quickly, because Brock Purdy gets injured in this game and gets taken out. What did Sam Darnold do on the next drive? He led a touchdown drive. We know the impact Lamar has because we've seen the Ravens play without Lamar. Lamar raises the ceiling and raises the floor of the Ravens. And it just is what it is, where I use the words, most valuable player. What does that mean? Who's the most important player to the team? I know if you're talking about the NBA, LeBron James should have won it, 15 times now. So that's not exactly how the award is based. But again, this isn't like Lamar has 1,000 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns this year.
No,
he doesn't have the most in the league, but it's not like he's done nothing this year. And it's not like the Ravens have played poorly and they're the 7 seed, right? This is Lamar Jackson, who's leading the team with the best record in the NFL, who can clinch a number 1 seed on Sunday. It doesn't just go, it goes beyond stats, it goes beyond the player, but how is that player leading his team and what's the team success? Well, Lamar passes that test with flying colors too, because they're the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and Joe S. And
I was just going to say, this is brilliantly put. He put this perfect.
Yes. So Joe, and hey, thank you for joining us. We got the Joes. We got Joe S. We got our Joe from the beginning, Joe R. And then we also got Joe Flacco that we talked about quite a bit.
Joe F.
Yeah, Joe F. But it's hard to understand Lamar's full impact because it doesn't look exactly like other great quarterbacks. Make no mistake, he influences outcome of games more than just about anyone. And Joe S., that's beautifully put, because that is the reality. I think when people look at Lamar Jackson and they look at how the quarterback position has been played for the last couple decades, and then you look at the greatest quarterback of all time with Tom Brady, if you're looking at success, stats, championships, Tom Brady looks a lot different than Lamar Jackson's style of play. You name it, everything. But what people continue to forget is that Lamar Jackson, what's the goal, guys, when you go out to play any competitive sport? What's the goal? To win.
Win the game.
Who wins games? Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has the second most wins behind Patrick Mahomes since he came into the league. And he's missed some games, obviously, the last 2 seasons. Lamar Jackson, when he faces top talent, top teams this year, by the way, and we've seen it this year, played the Detroit Lions. That team's supposed to be pretty good. He played pretty damn well against them, didn't he? How about the LA Rams, another playoff team right now that arguably is probably that sneaky dark horse?
That's a team that if you ask guys in the NFC who you do not want to play in the playoffs, it's got to be the Rams. I mean, talk about a team hitting on all cylinders.
That was a character win. That was a character win.
And so my point is, with all of this, Lamar Jackson, that game, 3 touchdowns, leads a comeback game-winning drive. Then the Rams actually, tied the game up, sent it to overtime, played well against San Francisco, the best defense besides the Ravens in the NFL, best pass rush, I think, is what people would look at with who they have on that side of the ball. And my biggest thing, this is the credit, and I said this last time, listen to the peers in the NFL. Listen to everyone talk about Lamar Jackson. None of them are going, yep, he's not that good, not talented. Everyone's like, damn, we don't know how to stop him. And I think that is the biggest testament, is when your fellow athletes at the highest level are going out there and saying, you are an incredible player. You deserve to be the MVP. Some people are saying you are the best player in the league right now. I think that is a point that people have to remember. That's no knock to everyone else. There's fantastic players, but Lamar Jackson deserves it. And quite frankly, and this is not fair to Lamar, but people are going to continue to doubt Lamar until he wins a Super Bowl, at least gets there.
And then they'll figure something else out.
They're going to,
they'll figure something else out to hate on him for.
Yep.